Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the news pretty much every day. I mean, she just can't. She can't not try to make herself the center of attention. Mm-hmm. She's got to be out saying something ridiculous every day. And so she's at South by Southwest making nonsensical statements. We'll share those with you. Also, some more frightening polls. About half of young Americans want socialism, want to live in a nation with a socialist economy.
Bye. See ya.
Generation Z has a more positive view of the word socialism than any previous generation, and along with the millennials, are more likely to embrace socialistic policies and principles than the past generations. It just doesn't carry the same stigma to them as it did, because they don't know Nazi Germany. They don't know what that stands for, National Socialism. They don't know what that means. They don't know that Venezuela is a socialist economy. They think Denmark, Sweden, and Norway are. And while they've got various aspects of socialism, they're not socialist economies. They're capitalist countries that happen to have really high taxes and don't have anywhere near the lifestyle we have in this country. Unless you want to live in 800 square feet your entire life, because that's what they do. So Generation Z and millennials are projected to make up to about 37% of the electorate in 2020. Wow. And they're looking for a presidential candidate who is, offering them stuff. The top 3 voting issues for Generation Z are mass shootings, racial equality, and treatment of immigrants. For millennials, their top issues are access to health care, global warming, climate change, and mass shootings. For Generation X, Gen Xers' top issues are access to health care, terrorism, national security, and the national debt. The same top issues for boomers and older. 61% of Americans aged 18 to 24, which I believe is the Generation Z, they have a positive reaction to the word socialism, beating out capitalism at 58%. So 61% had a positive impression of socialism, 58% had a positive impression of capitalism.
Oh, boy. I don't care for that.
Overall, 39% of Americans are well disposed towards socialism, but the gulf remains wide for men and those 55 or older. Wow. I mean, the tide is turning because they're not educated on the situation. They don't know.
Yep, and they're starting to get positions of power, like AOC. They've got a voice.
And at South by Southwest, she just attacked capitalism, said it's an irredeemable system. Irredeemable system. And it's to blame for income inequality. So she directed some of her sharpest comments that she said have values of profit over people. Some of her sharpest comments to capitalism. Capitalism is an ideology of capital, she said. Wow, that's deep. Capitalism is an ideology of capital. Huh. Okay, the most important thing is the concentration of capital and to seek and maximize profit, she said. And that comes at any cost to people and to the environment. So to me, capitalism is irredeemable. Although she said she doesn't think all parts of capitalism should be abandoned. We're reckoning with the consequences of putting profit above everything else in society. And what that means is people can't afford to live. For me, it's a question of priorities. And right now, I don't think our model is sustainable.
Oh, boy. It's really, it's helped her find a luxury apartment to live in there in D.C., as we learned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's a system that's worked for 243 years.